I'm an artist first, and in my book, I try to be charming, witty, funny, idealistic. Uh, I believe in God, and I'm going to read this one little thing in the book, then I'll close it, and then I'll get into the topics of invisible and I'm trying to land this plane. We're up in the air now, so you guys just got to hope I can put it down in the cornfield. Get you all where you need to go. Everybody on board. So I don't have a can of laughter over there, but I'll go ba-doom, boom. That means I have that dry wit humor, and they say, is he serious? No, I was joking. It's just not a great joke. But in my book, it's chapter or page 12. I'm going to read this. This is how I feel about art. I believe God is the creator, and all we really do as humans is kind of recreate. We have free will, and our thoughts seem completely original to us. Yet, we are all little pieces of his gigantic puzzle with our own little special spark. Whether we are a cook, a banker, or a candlestick maker, creativity is in our DNA. It's our birthright and our purpose. You are already unique by simply being you. Word. So I said that because that's the premise of everything I do. I can't pat myself on the back for being this handsome. I have to thank my mom and my dad. That's always, I see a pretty girl at the store. Hey, you're beautiful. Oh, thank you. Like they had something to do with it. No, you go home and you thank your mom and your dad. Because if we could make ourselves pretty, we'd all go home and do it. I would. I'd make myself look like Denzel Washington, and I'd make myself taller. I got what the DNA of my parents gave me. But anyway, that's kind of where I come from. And I'm trying to give you a little background because I only got so much time. And I don't like to hold people hostage. I like to get my point out, get her done, let you guys go on, and do what you have to do out there. Stay safe. The topic was invisible. And that's a really big subject. And I wanted to tie it in with the book. So this is what I came up with. And then I'm gonna take you a little bit to the left, and I'm somewhere in the middle, which is us all. And then I'm gonna take you to the rest of the journey. Invisible. And the first thing I figured I had to know about invisible, what was visible, sorry. And I'm an artist and I'm a semi-big thinker. I'm not the world's smartest guy. I don't just sit in the backyard with my cat. Invisible. And then it kind of creeped in this way. I'll share it this way, and you can totally throw it away when you get home. I don't care. So I get to give my opinion for 15 minutes. That's what I'm gonna do. But my sister-in-law sent me a text, this, while I was going through what am I gonna talk about. She sent me this. And I said, oh. I hit the button and it shows the size of our planet that we live on compared to the moon, compared to Jupiter, Saturn, etc. That's the size of our Earth, the little blue dot, compared to the sun. Wow, that's big. Okay, and I hit the next button, and it showed the size of our sun compared to the closest sun to us outside of in our galaxy, and etc. to this sun here. I'm not going to read the names, but our sun is about the size of a grape compared to some suns that are out there in this universe. Big expanse. And then it went on to show a couple more pictures. And it showed where they had telescopically, they're sending up a new telescope. And it pointed to one fraction of the sky to show, and when they build this new telescope, they're going to see even more. They're going to go back in time. This telescope is so deep. And it goes there and said, wow, there's a lot of stuff out in this great big expanse that we can't see with the human eye. And I said, wow. That's what I said, wow. And it made me think about it, visible versus invisible. So there can be stuff that we can't see. And I call it the arrogance of the human eye, because we're the smartest things in the universe, but we can't see it, so therefore it's not. It's there, we just can't see it. Or sometimes we can't even understand it. Like that cat can't understand me. When I say go fetch, cat looks at me like, whoa. So that's the mindset I have because I believe in God. So I'm not going to understand somebody that can create that. And I say, well, it's an accident, the Big Bang. I said, well, where did the stuff come from to create the Big Bang? Okay, enough about that. That takes me into this present where we are here. And it's like that Dr. Seuss, Horton Hears a Who. We're floating around through space. Every day, whether you do anything or not, we go around the sun like a neutron. We go around the sun once a year. I told somebody, I go places every year. I go around the whole universe once a year. Right back here. So I'm funny. I'm just not real funny. And so I'm trying to get off this because this is just the topic of invisible and how I view it. Because that's not a universe. That's an atom, a neuron. And then it hit me, I'm blowing my own mind here. I say, the biggest thing that we know of, how huge and vast the universe is, looks like the smallest thing we know of. And I said, an atom and the universe are built the same. So probably if you go down there, what do you call that? The microscopic vision, what's invisible, what's not visible, the human arrogance of the eye. We can't see certain things just because of the telescopic capabilities of our own eye. Because there's air in between me and you, and air is a molecule. We breathe it in. It helps us live. But we can't see it. We can't see to the vastness of space. But the vastness of space is there, and air is in here, or I'd be running out of it soon. So being able to see everything is why I call it the arrogance of man. There's a lot of things we can't see because I'm a believer. Doesn't mean it's not there. So with that, and this is also part of, I'll throw some other stuff in there about thinking, thoughts matter, all that stuff that falls into the invisible category. This book was invisible until I put it together. Thoughts are invisible, etc., like that. So that was where I was going into the neuron stage. But that also takes us into why we're here from our past that we're not sure of how it happened. And I say there's a lot of smart people on this planet, lots of them, before and after. Nobody seems to have figured it out. I know exactly where we came from. I know exactly why we're here. I know exactly where we're going. We're just floating through space. and that's scary to some people, so they choose not to think about it. But when you're sitting in the backyard with a cat, coronavirus, I'm just choosing to chew on these matters because of total boredom. So that's where I came from. And the going forward from living here, the future, I guess I could say, is invisible too. And the future scares some people, so they choose not to look at it. I don't want to look that far ahead. I don't know what's out there. I've thought about it, and I wrote some stuff in the book, and I like to use the brain that God gave me. And it's almost like Star Trek in a sense that we can project to what we think the future should be like. We're going to go and meet green aliens with scales on the other side of the universe and get along with them. But we can't get along with each other right here. That's wild. So I had too much time in my backyard. Y'all can see that. Oh, but anyway, the book, Back to the Drawing Board, kind of takes you there too. You know, sometimes you have to hit the reset button in your life. I had a bunch of books on my front porch, and somebody decided to porch pirate my books. I can go through the anger, stages of anger, and then I say, you know something? It's just a book. This is just life. I would rather come in here and try to be nice to people. Enjoy this time we have here on earth. That's what I come here for. I come to celebrate the wonders of it. And I don't need to know everything. Because there's people out there, well, what about this? We're always trying to stay in control. I have to know everything. I don't. I know that I'm finite. I know I won't be here forever. I get to leave a little legacy here and a mural there because I started out as an artist and I'm not a writer. This book is more like poetry than it is an autobiographic thing. I try to be funny. And you gotta have some of that. I think it was Jimmy Valvano said, laugh every day, those things he said. And you gotta kind of do that. You know, why are you here? Well, I'm here to make as much money as I can make, and then I can do what? After you make all that money, what are you gonna do? I'm just gonna stack it up over there in the corner. Then do what? The people are the value. Knowing you like I met you before, met you afterwards, and me, that's the rich stuff. That's the, what's his name? Uh, Ebenezer Scrooge had to find that out. What is it good to have all that money, but everybody thinks you're an a-hole? So I would rather be known as somebody that was human. I get here on this planet someday, I feel like I just arrived. I've been on this planet for 65 years, but I go outside and I look at people like Mork from Ork. And I realize, okay, I gotta live too, I gotta eat. But it seems like we're chasing the wrong things, what's important. So this takes me back to the book. Let's start over. Why am I here? What do I want to do while I'm here? And it's going to be different for everybody, probably. You know. And then you're going to think, aha, this is original. I got it. And in the Bible, it says that he is the Alpha and the Omega. And that means he already knows what you're going to do. You don't know it. You don't know what you're going to do sometimes, but he already knows the answer. He knows who's going to win next year's Super Bowl. He knows. I said, that's too crazy. That's too far out there. And when you're sitting in the backyard with a cat, you got nothing else to do. So I like to take the theology, creation versus Big Bang Theory, and I put them on the table, and I could see some truths to both of them. You know, and now I'm walking down the middle of the street. Yeah, it could possibly be. I think it's a combination, kind of. You know, it's not all one way or all the other. I think there's some things that have tied together to make us live here. And that's fascinating to me. If I'm right, then I will tell you, I told you so. I told you, I knew it. But that's the great thing about the invisible part of it. You probably won't see it. Because somebody was saying something to me, and I'm trying to wrap this up. The invisible versus going down to the microscopic invisible, you know, and the fact that we can't see it does not mean that he is not there. And then I think about it sometimes, if I was God, he also has control of time, right? So I want to see something happen miracle-wise. I want to see proof. He said, I got this. I'll drop a miracle on you when I'm ready. And then I can go out and argue with him. You know how that's going to go. Because in the Bible, for example, there was the flood and this and that and the other thing. We look at it in the Bible like page to page to page, but sometimes there was thousands of years in between miracles. So that means we may not see anything in our lifetime. I didn't get no proof. Doesn't mean it's not there. Doesn't mean he can't do what he wants to do, etc., etc. I've been waiting to use it, etc., etc. So I get to, you know, this is points to ponder. And like I say, I'm not shoving anything or my theories or my beliefs down anybody's throat. I believe when you shove Jesus down people's throat, you make them not taste good. So I'll just put it on the plate so you understand where I'm coming from. And for my life, it's been good. So just like, from a small town, Muskegon Heights, Michigan, I was an addict. I actually lived at the shelter down the street. I woke up and they ended up putting me on the board of directors. So I went from being a client to being on the board of directors. Blessing. I'm a veteran. So I've got a lot of life experience. I call it my Forrest Gump life. I've done a lot of stuff that I'm not proud of, not ashamed of either, because that is how life is sometimes. You take all your life experiences like soup, and you put oregano in there, you put paprika, you cook this thing, you take the little burn stuff off the edges, you got soup. And so I don't regret the journey. As a matter of fact, I've learned to enjoy the journey. I call my journey through life now an adventure. Living on this planet is an adventure. And if there's other life out there on other planets and stuff, according to the map, they too far away. By our technology, we don't have a way to go to the next sun, but we're going to Star Trek ourselves through this. Good luck with that. I ain't going. I'm staying here and dealing with the reality and the people I have to deal with. I'm fine with that. But if other people want to go, you go. Michael Strahan's going. That's fine. That's fine. And there's a lot of things in adventure. My adventure doesn't have me going to space. Doesn't have me going to the deep sea. Mine has me trying to be a better human with you. So the book, like I say, it's a conglomerate. I wanted to make it like the tip of the iceberg. I didn't go really deep, and you can see I can go deep. But I just wanted to say, this is funny. This is funny. That's kind of my truth. And to make it poetry, because I'm a musician in my head too. So there's some art and there's some poetry and then there's some reality. Taste the soup. Then I also had this other project that I was working on. I think I'm going to hit the right button. It's called Legacy Mural. This, how much time do I have left? 2 minutes? 7 minutes, okay. It's called a Legacy Mural. And I'll be real quick because I'm running out of talk. It's a project that I believe divinely given to me, et cetera, et cetera. Here it goes, et cetera, et cetera. But what the Legacy Mural Challenge is, where did Tom Cruise go to high school? Nobody knows. Students that went to school with Tom Cruise know. He used to sit right here next to me. So I'll start with that because Tom Cruise is pop. But this is what the mural does. It lets every high school, college, university, city, state have their own wall of fame. So my high school, there was a couple of people that would, and you honor them on your wall, not directly in your high school, wherever you pick, because I'm not trying to control it. I just want this to be the airport where everybody lands their plane. I'm not getting any money for it or whatever. We ask for donations. But I thought it was a cool idea that every high school has their own, so that your high school can challenge my high school. And everybody finds out that some high school in Los Angeles is 3 senators, 1 vice president, 4 NFL players, a couple Olympians. Ooh, then you get points for your high school's Wall of Fame. And that gives the artist an opportunity. My wall was to be continuous so that every year a kid wins American Idol, boom, he goes on the wall. So mine was going to be an ongoing, let's say, like the never-ending story, so that 100 years from now, they would still be sticking faces on that mural. And then you could sit there and look at the ones in Washington, D.C. from your home. You can look at the ones in California on your own. So that's what this legacy mural is. So if you know artists, contact me, get in touch with me. I was writing my phone number in the book and my publisher took it out because I like people now. I'm Ebenezer Scrooge and I woke up. I want to hear from everybody. You know, even if you have ideals that make this better, I don't, think I know everything. So sometimes I found out the more smart people I have around me, the better. And I always say it's funny. I think it's funny that if I'm in the smartest person in this room, then I want to get out. I know. I found that. Why would I want to be I'm the smartest person in this room? That's not a good room, people. Trust me, that's not a good room. So I'm grateful that they have given me this platform, time to speak, share with you. I think we're done. And if anybody has any questions that, they think I could probably answer, I will attempt to answer them. Thank you.